Hey everyone, so I have a review for you today on the L'Oreal Visible Lift Blur Foundation and the Visible Lift Blur Concealer. So here's what the product looked like. This has an SPF of 18 and it is 1.3 fluid ounces. And I have mine in Creamy Natural, and the L'Oreal Visible Lift Concealer is in 0.6 fluid ounces. And I have this in the color Light. There's what that looks like. So I wanted to demo it. My eyes are done. So the one thing I can appreciate, squeeze tube, I'm going to put some on the back of my hand and rub some of it in to just show you how nice and creamy this is. You're going to see it on my face as well, but it has a really nice slip, very nice consistency. Honestly, this is my first L'Oreal foundation. I've never had it before. So like I said, I tried this first with a brush because I had seen Sam Sherman. I will link her review below for the oily skin girls. My skin is normal to dry, and I'm using my damp beauty blender. And as you can see, how quickly this blends into your skin. And you can see I didn't use a lot. The one thing I will say, it has a really, 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 really nice slip to it. All That Beauty with Lori asked me to review this. I ran out to, that's when I went to CVS and I couldn't find, they didn't have it. So I went to Walgreens, and like I had said, it is actually a very good match. I am not self-tanned at the moment. And I also don't put foundation under my eyes. It's just a thing I just don't do. But it blends very, very nicely. And the first time I tried doing it, I used an IT Cosmetics foundation brush. Buffed it in. And my bathroom light is like, to me, is like the place to be to see if something looks nice or not. And I went in and I looked up close and I was horrified. But I mean, it covers, I would say it's a light to medium coverage. Now if you want to build it, put a little bit on the sponge. You can build it up a little bit. As you know, I'm not a huge fan of full coverage foundations. I just never have been. But I really, for a drugstore foundation, it's kind of hard to talk and pounce on your face. I'm liking it. Like I said, I wore it. I've worn it a few times now, and I just kind of drag it down a little bit. As you can see, it does leave, even when it is dry, a dewy finish. So if you do not like dewy, then you won't like this. And it's not super dewy where if you put some powder on it, it does take, some of the dewiness away. Which I do powder my foundation. But to me, it is a light foundation, but to me, it does cover pretty nicely. It's definitely not full coverage. It is definitely a light to medium foundation. And I know a lot of people like full coverage because of skin issues. For me personally, less is more. I'm not the type to, the most full coverage I would say I have is the Revlon Color Whipped foundation. I don't even know if that's considered full coverage. But I blend it out to the point where you can't really see, like, oh yeah, she has makeup on. I like my skin coming through. I accept what's here. So if I have a pimple or redness or a mark or whatever, I don't want to cake my face up. I love makeup, but in some ways I can't wait to get it off at times. I just sometimes get like, ugh, after having it on for so long. So the next thing I'm going to put on is the concealer. Now this is not dewy, and this has a nice, to me, has a very nice coverage. It's not too, it's very blendable as well. So now, to me, that's actually like too much. Especially with this foundation, with this concealer, definitely. Because it actually does cover quite well. I always go around my mouth, because that's where most of my redness, the nose, and I'm using it slightly as a highlighter. When I do my Get Ready With Me, I'll go into more detail. I just wanted to show how it goes on, and then come back and show you the final result, when it's powdered and I'm fully made up. But as you can see, no issues blending. And also a little tip, if you're using Skin Cosmetics, the Instafill, just be careful if you're using a brush under your eye or wherever you're using it, because if you go too hard, you're going to move that product. So that's another reason why I do really like the Beauty Blender. If I am using the skin product, I'm not sweeping it away. And that goes for, a lot of foundations, not foundations, like primer type things. You're going buffing away like a crazy person. You're going to buff away all of that product. So, there it is. See, to me, this is perfect. Any little marks, honestly, I feel like I don't like to cover every little detail of my skin. I want my skin to come through. I always bring it down my neck just to make sure, but it actually is a very good color for me. And I just pounce away, especially in the areas that I have wrinkles. This to me is my instant Botox bangs for my forehead wrinkles, as you can see them. This doesn't, and now it says it blurs. I don't feel that it blurs wrinkles at all. What I will say is that it doesn't settle into them, which is nice, because some foundations, as soon as they find a wrinkle, it's like they make a bed and lay in it, but this, I didn't feel like it caked up after so many hours. On my skin, which is normal to dry, more like dry than normal, I don't feel like it emphasized any fine lines or wrinkles that I had. I feel like it wore very well for the few days that I've worn it. So I will be back, and then I will give you the rest of the lowdown on the products and what I think. So I'm back. Now, the Visible Lift foundation comes in 12 shades and is $14.99. I purchased this at Walgreens. And the concealer I purchased at Walgreens as well, and it was $12.99. And that only comes in 3 shades, which is fair, light, and medium. So the foundation goes from light ivory to classic tan, which isn't really, to me, a huge... Women of color probably wouldn't be able to use this. And then the 3 shades for the concealer is fair, light, and medium. Like I said, I have Creamy Natural, and I also have the light foundation. So, $14.99 and $12.99. First thing was, I thought it is a little expensive for drugstore. When you think about it. But there's even ones that are more expensive than this in the drugstore. Which is crazy, but The new CoverGirl foundation is $18. Do I like these? Yes, I do. I like them actually very much for my skin. Now, like I said, Sam Sherman, she's used this on her oily skin. I will, if I remember, in the perimenopausal brain of mine will allow me to remember to link her channel, actually the video that she did on the demo as well. And she has oily skin. So for my oily skin girls, you could check her video out. And I will always say things are subjective, meaning I have dry skin, and let's just say Susie has dry skin. What works for me and my dry skin may not work for Susie and her dry skin. You know, our bodies, it's like wearing perfume. Something smells good on one person, doesn't smell so good on another. I've had that happen. It's the same thing with skincare, foundation. Now, Sam put this on her oily skin. She used the Bare Minerals, the one with the little hole in the middle. That's what she put on, and she buffed it in. I used an It Cosmetics brush. It sat on my skin. I mean, it's in my skin. The little bit of a glow you're seeing is from my Hourglass Ambient Blush. So the powder takes down the dewiness, unless that's what you want. If you want the dewiness, then don't powder your skin. I do like this on my skin. I like the staying power of it. I know there are mixed reviews out there. The thing that I find is the color range, and it's a little expensive. When I bought this, I got it at a buy one, get one half off, which made it a little bit cheaper. But like I said, I like this. Will I repurchase it? I don't know, because there are other things I want to try at the drugstore. The Maybelline, I think it's the Dream Wonder that looks like in a little genie bottle. The bottle's like that big. I want to try that. Glad Rags, Julie, she had said to try it. But I have so many foundations. It's like I'm a creature of habit in some ways with foundations. But for me, this, if you're looking for full coverage, this is not for you. On the foundation, it says, now a makeup that blurs the look of fine lines, wrinkles, and uneven texture while delivering anti-aging benefits of the visible lift. It doesn't blur, in my opinion, it doesn't blur the fine lines and wrinkles. But it doesn't settle in them either. I appreciate that. I wasn't expecting this to blur anything. I really wasn't. I learned in my life to not have expectations. I can't say why, because it's not appropriate to say on YouTube. And the concealer, it says the same thing, blurs under eye circles while delivering anti-aging benefits. I like the fact that this has SPF 18, and that's very nice. And that it's delivering some sort of skincare into my skin, in my 45-year-old skin. I like a light coverage foundation, so I like this. If you like a full coverage, then this isn't for you. If you're a little afraid because your skin may be combination or oily, from what I saw in Sam's video, she had gotten 6 to 7 hours of wear before her oil started to break through, which actually I think is pretty good for somebody that has oily skin. But you know what, I mean, the thing is, we don't want to deal with, you know, we want to put our makeup on and not have to deal with blotting and this and that, and, you know. So, I hope that helped you, Lori. I will link Lori's channel below. If you're not subscribed to her, she's got a great channel. You need to subscribe. And thank you to my new subscribers. If you have any requests or comments, anything, leave it down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.